All right, I'm back. So in this video, I wanted to share an idea that quite honestly has changed my life. And it's called the misweighting bias. Let me get this situated here. So the misweighting bias has two parts. Misweighting, which is like, it's not waiting like you're waiting for something. It's waiting like you're weighing it. Like how much does it weigh? And the second part is bias, which a bias is like there's mental flaws in how humans think. All humans have these flaws. And you can read up on them. There's quite a few of them. But once you understand them, you understand how humans think. And I was reading about this one, and it's called the misweighting bias. And what it means is like we put importance on things that don't matter. And then things that do matter, we don't put importance on them. And so I'm going to go through some examples here to like explain how it works. And hopefully in the future, when I watch these videos in the future, hopefully I can identify something that is important in my life that I'm not making important, or something that I'm making really important that really doesn't matter. So the first one I have is time and money. So you see this a lot when you read books about wealth. A lot of people, so like with money, if there's anything I've learned in business in the past couple of years, this is getting really shaky. If there's anything I've learned about money in business, it's that you can always make more. So like you can have more creative ideas. You can bring people on your team that will like double your revenue. There's always ways, like the ceiling for making money. People have made $1 million. Why can't you make $1 million? $10 million? $100 million. There's people out there who have made billions of dollars. It's like the ceiling of money, and it keeps growing. The wealthiest person in the world keeps making more money. So there is nothing stopping you from making more money. But when it comes to time, like we only have so many seconds on this earth, and you can't have more time. So like when it comes to time and money, people are really stingy with their money. They don't like to share their money. They don't like to use it to grow things. They don't like to share it and spend it, and like they like to hold on to it. And it's the exact opposite with time. People like to give their time away for free. You'll talk to people that you don't like talking to. They'll do things that they don't like doing. And in the long term, it's like, this is a misweighting bias. Us humans, we really should be really stingy with where we spend our time. And like, we should decide to spend it on important things. And then with our money, we can always make more money. So if you're helping a friend out or something, like, spend that money. You can make more money, but you can't get that time back, like the relationship that you've been working on. So that's one little example that I've thought about how to use this. Another one is college and learning. So I thought about going back to college, and like a lot of people spend a lot of time deciding on which college to go to. And what I found, like I've read some books on college and read some academic papers about it doesn't matter if you go to an Ivy League school, and it really doesn't. People spend a lot of time deciding on which college to go to for like the praise, like wow, he went to an Ivy League college, but it doesn't really matter. If you think about that ingredients video that I made a couple days ago, that's exactly how Ivy League colleges work. They are not great colleges because they're great colleges. They're mediocre colleges, but they pick the best students. It's like, that's why it's so hard to get into those Ivy League schools. It doesn't matter if you get into them. What matters if you are a good ingredient. So like, are you driven? Are you curious? Do you like learning? Do you spend your free time learning about things that you're interested in? And like, these Ivy League schools, they only pick those people. And it's like the misweighting bias. I'll bring it back to that. It's like people focus, what really matters isn't what college you go to. What matters is how curious you are, how much reading you do in your free time, like how good are your social skills so that you can like work on something collaboratively. So that's another example of the misweighting bias. And the third example is a little political, so I'm not going to get too in depth in it, but it's actually what made me like think of this idea. And I see a lot of people pushing the vaccine, and then a lot of people not pushing, like saying not to get the vaccine. And when I think about that, the first thought that I immediately have was like, these people are putting so much importance on the vaccine, and there's other things in their life that are super important that they're not making important. Like we know that going to the gym is super helpful in all areas of your life. Like, so when it comes to aging, I've read some books on this. We don't know how to reverse aging. Like there's no way to reverse aging, but we know how to slow it down. And the only way that we know how to slow aging down is like when it comes back to the time, like you only have so many seconds. If you want to have more seconds, one of the only ways we know how to do that is to go to the gym, is lifting and exercising. There's these little things in your cells called telomeres. And what happens is when a cell copies, because that's like what your body is, it's a bunch of cells, and then throughout time they die, but they've made copies of themselves. And when you get a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, slowly throughout the time, those little telomeres get shorter and shorter. And lifting weights and exercising, makes that process slower so you have more time on this earth. And so like going to the gym and exercising is a super important thing, but people don't make it very important. Another one is like meals. So like the food that you eat. So I watched this documentary about this guy who had McDonald's every day for like 30 days. And at the end of it, they were like, "You got to stop, dude. You're about to die." So like, when it comes to eating, like, a lot of people have a lot of passion about the vaccine because it interacts with their health, and like those other things also interact with their health. They're just not making them important. It's like if you eat crap food, it's like that's going to have a really negative effect on your health. And so like make that important. That's what matters. The same with smoking and drinking. Like future Theodore, if you ever pick up smoking, it's not going to be good. Like smoking doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you live longer on this life. Like it's not, there's no positive benefits of smoking. The same with drinking. Like casual drinking is okay, especially if it's social opportunities. They say some of the people that live the longest in life casually drink. Like they'll drink on weekends. And it's not because they're drinking, it's because they're drinking with friends. They're drinking with other people. We're ultra social creatures. It's like, but drinking every night is not good for your body. Like there's a syndrome, I think it's called Korsakoff syndrome. I've only ever read it in a book. I've never heard this word out loud. And this syndrome is like, we don't exactly know what it is, but what happens is people just drink every day for 30 years, and then one day they develop this syndrome and body parts just start failing. Like there's no reason to it other than the fact that we know that they've drank daily for a long time. Another one is like a night job. We know, like through science and numbers and like studying this, if you work a night job, like if you work through the hours of the night, you will live 10 years less than if you worked a day job. And it's because like humans, I don't think humans are meant to be up at those hours. Like it really messes with your sleep schedule. I'm sure there's second order consequences, but having a night job, like working at night, is not good for us humans. So like that's a super important thing to do. Like if you are super passionate about the vaccine, like be passionate about these other things too, because they matter. It's like you're taking this gym, this meals, smoking and drinking, having a night job, having a job you hate, having bad friends. Like you're making those really small and not focusing on them, and then you're focusing on the vaccine. It's like maybe don't focus on the vaccine as much and focus on these other things that really matter, that have academic science behind them, that have proven benefits that will definitely help your life. And so like I make this video as humble as possible. Future Theodore, there may be some things in your life that matter that you're not paying attention to. But there also may be some things in your life that do not matter at all, but you're blowing out of proportion. Like ignore those. You don't want to focus on those. And so this misweighting bias is something that like humans are we are constantly falling prey to this. Like there's always going to be an issue with thinking these, like having these flaws of thinking. But if you can think of examples and then like abstract them into the rest of your life, like that's how we as humans will continue to improve. Like that's how we get better. We think about where our failures are and then like work on them. And like, so like this time and money little analogy I talked about, and which college to pick, and then like the vaccine versus all these other things that you can make important. I guess that's like what I want to get across in this video. This actually is my 8 minutes and 30 seconds. This is the longest video I've got. So I hope this video, I'm only sharing these on Facebook for 2 reasons. And one of them is like other people seem to actually be getting something out of these. So it's like, it's helping other people. And another one is like Facebook, you can guarantee that what you post on Facebook will stick around for a long time. So it's like one day I want me in the future to watch these videos, but I also want like my kids, and hopefully one day my grandkids, and maybe even my great-grandkids will watch these videos and maybe get something out of them. I thought that was kind of an interesting thought that I've had about like why I'm sharing these on Facebook. It's not for likes or comments, it's to help people. And those people might not even be born yet. So hopefully I watch this video one day in the future and hopefully I get something out of it that makes me a better person. This video is already 9 minutes long, so I'm going to go ahead and end it.